one. Good evening, and welcome to another edition of the Kwame Brown Chronicles, brought to you by Ramo Red Track, where you get the news, you get the information, you get the knowledge you need to win in this world. Tonight, we have a special presentation, Roots and how it affects the black situation today in the United States. Good evening to all of you. Thank you for coming out. Tonight, we will be discussing the movie Roots. I actually was in a or anyone who's my age, 50 years old, right? 50, 48, 42. We were born in a special era. And I think everyone says that about the era they were born in, right? But in particular, I believe black people were born at a certain time where this movie actually impacted all of us. And I don't think there's been a movie that's been, let me see, I'm thinking if there's been a movie since that has affected black people this much. I don't think so. I believe the movie Roots was about the most impactful. I'm trying to think back. Has there been anything else? The Color Purple, believe it or not, was one of those types of movies, but had not nearly the effect that Roots had on the black culture. And today what I'm going to be doing is just pointing out some things here. I'm not sure if I'll be able to fit it in my usual 30-minute time frame, so I might do 2 parts, but I'm going to try and move fast through this. We'll just see, how you feel about it, and leave your comments below, obviously, so that I can respond. And if you want me to do, a further in-depth analysis on this movie, I will. You know what I mean? Because I'm just going through a few scenes with you. But there's so much to this movie where if you actually look at it now in retrospect, you can see why the movie was put out at a certain time. Okay, because you got to realize during that late 60s, early 70s era, we had a lot going on after the Martin Luther King, Malcolm X era. Okay, that was kind of like when you had the Muhammad Ali's jumping in you see what I mean, jumping into the scene. You had James Brown out there. Okay, there were a lot of side effects, positive side effects that came from the civil rights movement, and blacks were starting to feel like they belonged. Now that might sound bad to say. And I also want to say this for YouTube. This is not at all a hate video. Not at all. I don't hate white people at all. Not at all. Actually, believe it or not, one of my best friends is white. Yep, it's a lady that I used to coach tennis. And we just stayed friends throughout the years. This lady's 80 years old. And she hang with me with any kind of conversation I throw at her. And she's a little rich white lady, got a husband and everything. But her mind opened up as she got older, probably, to the fact that people are people. And, so I just wanted to make that point. For any white people watching this too, this is good for white people to watch so that they can kind of see, oh, that's what happened. Because I don't think a lot of white people really understand why black people act the way they do. Because we don't. So I know white people don't. They're just acting crazy. Why are they so violent? What is going on? Why can't they work together instead of always asking us for help? And why do they need assistance all the time to get out of their problems? Why haven't they built a spaceship? They're probably a normal mind would ask that. Okay, and the movie Roots, it explains it in such a way that you can understand how a child like me, for instance, was introduced to this movie in my living room with my mom. My dad was not home. If my dad had been home and I had seen this movie, it would have changed me. I would have seen this movie differently. But because I was there with my mom, she made no comment. So all I was able to do was take in this movie. I believe I was maybe 6 or 7. Okay, and I watched the whole thing. It blew my mind. I think it blew all of our minds, but me especially, because I was just old enough to comprehend what it was talking about. You see what I mean? Now you're talking about getting that at that age, because for you guys that don't know, I have a master's in psychology. You develop fully by the age of 6. I saw the movie at like 6 or 7. So I'm just closing that mind up where nothing else can get in there. And now I see the movie Roots. Okay? Now, did that make me an angry black man? No, not at all. See, that's why I wanted to do this video instead of talk about Russell Westbrook all day. You see what I mean? I want to bring you guys great videos. Of course, we can do the bullshit sometimes. I'm all about that. That's funny. It's great. Everybody needs entertainment. But at the same time, I want you guys to ask yourself, as you start watching my videos, who else is bringing it like this? Because I'm just getting started. I'm just scratching the surface. I've got to start that way so I don't run people off. You see what I mean? But I got a lot of topics that I'm going to be bringing up every day that are going to talk about not just black issues. We're going to be talking about the world. We're going to be talking about spirituality. See, I don't get that on YouTube. And if I do, that's all that person talks about. You see what I mean? In order to really feed the people, you got to feed yourself. You have to have enough information about a multiplicity of things, not just one thing. Then they come to your station and they can learn about anything. They can laugh and might even cry. You see what I mean? You want to have some music on there for them. I'm also a music producer, so you guys can also go and scroll down, check out all my videos. I got a lot of music that I put up. I just wrote like 15 songs in like 2 months. So y'all can check those out. But anyway, let me go ahead and get started with this. This is like the scene. I'm not going to tell you what scene it is. I'm going to just, as a boy, I'm watching this. And I'll come back once this scene is over. This is 5 minutes. Talk about it for a second. Then we move to the next scene. I'm going to try and get 3 scenes in 30 minutes for you. Okay? All right. Here we go. You guys, I'm sorry about my shoddy video, but if you want better, like and subscribe right now. Right now. Do it right now while we're taking a break. Like and then subscribe, and make sure that you push on the bell to get all of the notifications. Okay? Because I know a lot of people are coming by my page these days, and I'm guilty of it. I don't always push like and subscribe. Sometimes I get so involved in the video I forget. You know what I mean? But right now, I am on a mission to get this 1,000 subscribers, and then you won't have these shoddy videos. You know what I mean? Come on, I'm trying to come up. So you guys help a brother out. All right, here we go. So this is scene 1 that I want to show.
Keep moving down. Oh.
I want to go a little deep. I want to go a little deep with my analysis right here. He sees danger, right? He sees danger. And this was done on purpose. What he does is instead of hiding, he grabs the bird and hides. That's basic right there. That is a form of greed, actually. You see what I mean? Now, what he should have done was he should have let the bird go and hidden. Okay? All right, here we go. Let's keep it moving. The first thing you see in this scene right here is a black man. I'm going to try and talk. I hope you guys can hear it so I don't have to stop. Hear me so I don't have to stop. Wait. First thing you see there is a black man, right, pulling the slaves. You see what I'm saying? What kind of... You got to remember now, I saw this when I was 6 years old. Okay? So I'm kind of seeing this as these guys are working together, which they were. You know what I mean? So, there's just so much deep stuff in here. The way they would tie it up, that was done for a movie. So you can imagine how they might have been tied up, in real life. It's probably horrendous. Now you talking about walking a couple 100 miles or whatever, or 100 miles back to the coast or whatever they had to do to get back to the... See the bird? You see the bird? The bird shouldn't have been with them. Now look, now what's happening? Because of greed. You see what I mean? Why is he afraid of that guy? Because he has a what? A gun. You see what I mean? He's got a gun. See, that's where we as people kind of fell behind because we didn't have any weaponry. That's actually where the whole world fell behind the white race, is because their weaponry was superior. And you'll see now even today that the world is run by the country with the most superior weaponry. You see what I mean? So, it's deep. Why didn't we have weapons? We didn't need them. You know what I mean? We weren't living like that. You know what I mean? We weren't thinking somebody's coming to take us over or whatever. A lot of the wars back in Africa, during those times and before, actually were mock wars. They didn't even actually fight each other. They would present the army in front of each other without actually fighting a lot of times. Or it was symbolic. A lot of times it was a dance. A lot of times it was just a show of strength that would be enough for them to resolve their conflict. But I continue. Now remember, I'm 6 years old. I'm like, what is this? I didn't get a talk about we're gonna watch this movie and I want you to realize now, son, this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this. I didn't get that talk. You see what I mean? Now, what we have here is, okay, he's getting back to the camp. Alright, same scene. He's getting back to his camp. Luckily, he got away. Right?
Kunti, are you to be a child forever? Were you not sent to catch a bird? Did you forget the instructions given you?
I did not forget.
Then you decided it would be better to disobey those instructions and...
I saw white men.
What did did you say?
I said I saw a white man.
For the rest of your lives, even when you have come to be men, you must be on guard against the white tobob and the black traders who help them. These things I'm going to...
I'm 6 years old watching this. Millions of us were watching this.
Tell you now, you must hear with more than your ears. For not to do as I say can mean you're being stolen away to a place outside our world, outside of us, forever. Never be alone when you can help it. Never be out at night when you can help it.
Is that the case right now, today in 2022? Do you see how deep this is going? You know what I mean? It's sad. Because it's like with me, right? You know where I really want to live? Aspen, Colorado. Yep. I want to move to Aspen, Colorado. If you guys don't know, I'm a day trader, so it's possible. But I'll probably end up in Miami. Just because there's no racial diversity in Aspen, Colorado. It's probably one of the wealthiest cities you can live in the United States. But I wouldn't feel safe there. Not that I would go cause a problem or anything. Like I said, I don't have any problem with white people. I was a tennis coach for 20 years. But, you know, and I'm not an opposing looking black man on top of it. You see what I mean? I'm not 6'4", dark skin. I look very, a lot of times, people ask me what am I? They don't know if I'm, South American, black, mixed, what? They don't know. Both my parents are black. I just happen to have green eyes. You see what I mean? And I'm not real dark skinned. I'm not yellow, but people don't know for sure what I am. So I've never been discriminated against like some dark skinned people are. So I don't know what that's like, but for me to be saying it, and you guys hear how I talk, I can go into nigga mode. Yeah, of course, I can get there real quick. I can do that better than just about the best of them. But I can also speak where, oh, okay, when the cop pulls me over, he doesn't pull out his gun and walk up to the car. You see what I mean? I get a different treatment than maybe Kwame Brown might get when he's out and he gets stopped. You see what I'm saying? So just, having to have this talk back then and still having to have it now, it's mind-blowing. And that's why I wanted to do this video, because for some reason this was on my soul today. I don't know what it was, because I had decided a few days ago I'm going to start letting the universe let the universe kind of like guide me with my channel. You know what I'm saying? Now that it's getting a little bit more serious, I want to make sure that when I do my serious videos, that I am being led by a higher force. And I'm not trying to get deep on y'all right now, but that's why I did this video. It might seem a little bit random, but I want to be random on my channel. I don't want people coming back to my channel every day to hear about what Kim Kardashian did. I don't want that. I don't want 50 million viewers and 100 million subscribers like that. It would drive me crazy if I had to do that every day. You see what I mean? You either gonna like me, you give me 1,001 subscribers, and let's roll like that. Let me take my 1,000 people. We could change the world. You don't need 1,000 people to change the world either. Let me get 1,001 subscribers. I don't need 2,000. I don't need 10,000. All I want to do is be able to go live so that people can see me. I can be more animated. My videos will be a lot more professional. Things like that. All right, moving on. This is the scene here that had my eyes completely wide open when I was 6 years old. Had to have changed my mindset. Now, my dad, my dad was very conscious, very conscious, and he was ahead of the game in a lot of arenas. He read a lot. He was an activist at his job back then, which was amazing. He worked for IBM. I think he was one of the first black people to ever work for IBM. Okay, and he was no house nigga either. My dad used to ball at Rucker. You feel me? I was born in New York, the Bronx. Okay? So I got this crazy, like, mix of sweet mom, right, hands off, dad, overbearing, made me into a professional athlete. You see what I mean? Made sure that I got a scholarship to college. He was that kind of father. Woke up a couple hours every day before school and helped me with my sports. Always at my practices after school. Constant lectures. Constant. I hated him for it, but it made me a man. And it made me a certain type of man. You got all these people out here talking about, oh, I'm a grown-ass man and all this. What kind of grown-ass man are you? I'm a father. What kind of father are you? This scene right here blew my mind. Blew my mind. 6 years old.
I want to hear you say your name. Your name is Toby. What's your name?
Kunta.
To make it even deeper, I have an African name. Yeah, my real name is African. So 6 years old, I'm seeing this man get the name beat out of him. I have an African name. What is that doing to my mind? It didn't make me docile. It didn't turn me into a house nigga at all. It didn't turn me into a militant black man where I want to go hurt white people. It was because of my parent. It was because of my dad really just making sure, hey, look, you just as good as them. And as a matter of fact, I'm about to turn you into a professional tennis player. You about to beat them at their own game. I played at the U.S. Open when I was 17. Hello? Look at who's beating this man.
Lord God, help that boy.
Look at who's beating this man. Do you see any correlation between what's going on?
Say it.
What's
Toby.
the first thing they want to do to our athletes? First thing they want to do to our athletes is give them a nickname, right? Hello? Is my volume up? Can y'all hear me?
Who are you? Say your name.
I can't watch the part.
What's your...
I can't watch the part when he says Toby. But that was presented to me. Now, I'm 51 years old, and I can't watch that part right now. That's deep. Now, I saw this when I was 6 years old. I can't, right now, I'm telling you, I cannot allow this video, this scene right here to continue. You feel me? Alright, I'm moving on to the next scene. This will be the last scene here that I want to go over. Now keep in mind now, these shackles were made for a movie. So could you imagine the shackles that they actually put on their legs? And then, like, how much damage that could do just walking around in it. And then you're talking about these guys having to do all hard labor like that? I mean, you skip over things like that. You know what I mean? But see, it's going into your mind. And it's why a lot of black people is hard and everything as we want to act. We just some big old docile babies. And I love my people. But it's because of these types of scenes that get implanted into our head over and over, and it gets worse and worse sometimes. It's why we have to act so brazen towards other people. It's because we want to prove that we're not weak. Because how the hell did he get in those shackles and he's 5 times bigger and stronger than the white man in his house? How in God's name could you have 1,000 slaves out there with no fence and one white man and a white lady sleeping good? Not that you go in there and hurt them, but get the hell on. You know what I'm saying? You out here running from a couple of dogs like you crazy through the woods. What? You running from dogs? Okay, they had guns too, right? Okay. Look, you got guys out here now, they ain't scared of no gun. After a while, because I mean, we were in slavery for a long time. I mean, after a while, how long are you going to be afraid of that? Instead of your freedom, obviously, yeah. I mean, you know, the mind can be tricked into. That's just like with the elephant story about how they can tie an elephant. I forget how they do it. They tie an elephant to like something, and then over time they can make it smaller and smaller and smaller, or whatever it is, to the point that the elephant never tries to pull away from it. Even though he could easily get away, he still remembers how he couldn't. They have another example with grasshoppers. If you take a grasshopper, the average height a grasshopper can jump is 6 feet, right? And if you take a grasshopper and you put the grasshopper in a glass jar, right? What'll end up happening is after a period of time, the grasshopper hitting its head on the top of the jar, once you release that grasshopper will never jump any higher than the height of that jar, with the potential of jumping 6 feet. Like and subscribe. You're not getting this anywhere. I already know you're not. I already know because I look at what y'all look at just to see if it's any good. Like and subscribe. That's what you call freedom. That's what you call I'm free. Can you imagine how much that would hurt?
Hey, Toby, look what I got from the kitchen. I got...
Russell Westbrook? You wanted me to talk about Russell Westbrook? Maybe that man tired of that chain on his leg. It ain't all about what you got from the master's house and you gonna eat good on the straw floor. It ain't always about that. human spirit wants to be free. And I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please come back, like, subscribe. Like it all the time. Like it every time you come over. You know what I mean? Because it helps me. They say it helps you get in the logarithm. So I guess I'm trying to get in there. So I want to do it in such a way that I have my own dignity. Alright, so I want to thank you guys for coming out. And remember, I always bring it. I always bring it. I always bring it, and I'm going to bring it to you raw, and I'm going to bring it to you real, just like you want it, just like you got to have it. Once again, I want to say thank you. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You got to do me that favor, okay? And it encourages me. You know what I mean? It encourages me when I see you guys like the videos. You know, it's cool. You know what I mean? Well, thanks again for coming to Kwame Brown Chronicle News. I am Ramo Red Track, and I'm out. Good evening. Good night.